The following matchup is being played with HistoryMaker Baseball Express, a fast-playing baseball simulation board game, a property of Play Games LLC, copyright 2022, all rights reserved. Welcome to today's episode of the HistoryMaker Baseball Express Hour. In today's episode, boy, do we have a great matchup for you on hand as we will feature the debut episode of Rivalry Night here for the HistoryMaker Baseball Express Hour, and it will feature one of the greatest rivalries in all of baseball that will be rewinding back the clock to 1998 as we revisit this classic rivalry between the 1998 St. Louis Cardinals and the 1998 Chicago Cubs. Who's going to come out on top of this rivalry? Well, let's find out, shall we? As first pitch is just around the corner. But first, let's have a little look see and say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of the HistoryMaker Baseball Express Hour. We would like to take time to say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of the HistoryMaker Baseball Express Hour. This episode, first of all, is being brought to you by your favorite Bitty Beer products. And again, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. Hey, it's a blend of hops, rice, and barley that gives Bitty Beer its taste. But we know better. It's our brewing process that gives our beer that one-of-a-kind flavor that no premium beer can match. Our vats have never been cleaned. There's an itty-bitty bit of history in every can. Bitty Beer, the beer for folks who can't afford better. And by Doc Cola, the official cola drink of the Play Games community. Doc Cola uses finest ingredients to bring you that sugary blast of caffeine you've come to know and love. Twice the sugar and 3 times the caffeine of any other major. Doc Cola is sure to keep fired up from dawn till dusk. Take the Doc Cola challenge. See why our customers agree you'll never be able to wean yourself from a refreshing Doc Cola. And by Pizza Kingdom, the official pizza joint of the Play Games community. Pizza Kingdom, our signature New York style pizza, starts with crust. Then we layer on our homemade pizza sauce and load your pizza up with mounds of cheese. When it comes out of the oven, piping hot, golden brown, and ready for you to enjoy. Then we give the majestic culinary work of art to Mikey, our 16-year-old delivery driver who has responsible as a treat. Pizza Kingdom, it's sheer perfection. Left the store. And by Suncoast Capital Banks. At Suncoast Capital, we live by one simple rule of investing. When our clients win, we win. When our clients lose, we win. Suncoast Capital, you know we're going to get all of your money anyway. And by Rubicon Wireless. Why pay $200 a month for wireless service when you get 4 lines for just $25 a month? With our tin can plan, you can access our wireless network that covers at 25% of coast to coast between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. with unlimited text and messaging. Those hours, of course. So why overpay for services you cannot live out? Rubicon Wireless. And without any further delay, let's get right into game one of this Rivalry Night series between the 1998 St. Louis Cardinals and the 1998 Chicago Cubs. Your starting lineups are on screen right now. And I will be using these little pawns here. The red one for the Cardinals and the blue one for the Cubs. to let you know who the current batter is that's currently at bat. With that being said, your starting pitchers for game one of this series, this Rivalry Night series, is going to be for Chicago, finishing up his warm up tosses, will be Kevin Tepani, and he has a Workman, semi-flash, and control for his pitching. And opposing him when we get to the bottom half of the first, it'll be Kent Merker, Workman, and control. And excuse me, and a semi-control are his qualities um, his his ledger. And with that being said, Royce Clayton is ready to step up to the plate for the Cardinals. Let's do it. The umpire says play ball. And again, I am playing this as neutral umpires, as I will be playing this um, throughout the entirety of this inaugural season of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. Um, and whenever umpire checks do come up, we will indeed roll the decider die. With that being said, let's get to it. Tepani's ready, Clinton's ready, and let's do it from the friendly confines of Wrigley Field for game one of this Rivalry Night series. We're going to begin with a 1-4-6, and I almost forgot, you need the charts in order to play, as they are going to be off screen. And again, this is going to be fun, and let's get to it. With a 1-4-6 to begin with, is Tepani an ace or dynamic pitcher? No, he is not. Sat sack batter on Clayton. No, he is not. So that is going to be a -1 for the black die of control for a men on base. So the black die is, so again, I have the white die as will be acting as the black die for this role. So in this case, we have a 4. So that 4 will be reduced to a 3. And we're going to place the runners at first and second for Delino DeShields, with Clayton on, with a men on base result coming up for Royce Clayton. 36 is the role, active batter. And again, he's a semi-active. Decider says he's not active. So that is going to be a contact result. And I usually roll the red die for contacts. 2, sad sack. DeShields is not a sad sack, so that is going to be a ground out. And what a way to escape the top half of the first. So 2 men are left on for Tepani, with the Cardinals zip and the Cubs coming to bat here in the bottom half of the first. 1-1-4 is going to be your first pitch to our leadoff batter for the Cubs will be Lance Johnson. And it's going to feature 1-1-4 struggler pitcher. Merker is not a struggler pitcher. Champion batter on Johnson. No, he is not. So that's going to be a no runs result of a 1. And let's see here. Decider die was not used. Let me just double check. Struggler, no. Champ, no. Yep, decider die was not used. So it's going to be a no runs result of a 1 blank for Kent Merker. And we are through 1 inning of play here at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field, with the score at a zip-to-zip tie between these two fierce rivals, between the Cubs and the Cardinals. 4-5-5 is going to be our next roll, and it's going to be Workman pitcher. Oh, excuse me. Yes. 4-5-5, yes. Workman pitcher. Tepani is a workman, so that is going to be a men on base result. And Mark McGuire is your batter, so he's a stoic runner. -1 on the rating for the stoic. 5 is the black. The white 5 is a black die. Is the black die. 5 becomes a 4, and that's going to be runners on first and third for the next batter of Ray Langford. 23, Eager grounds out. Ray Langford's not eager, so that's going to be a walk to load the bases for Ray Langford. We continue on here with Ron Gant, 34. Slugger hits double. Gant is not a slugger, so that is going to be a single. 2 runs will score. So runners advance 2 bases. 2 runs will score for the Cardinals, and it's 2-0 for in favor of St. Louis, courtesy of a 2 RBI single, because the runner on third will score, runner on second scores, the runner on first will go to third, and with that, that is going to be the end of the top half of the second. The Cardinals lead game 1 over the Cubs 2-0. 3, 4, 6, and that is going to be pitcher not fresh. Well, so again, I will be playing this as three fresh, 3 semi-fresh for all. So everyone is neutral. So I'm playing everybody as neutral. So pitcher not fresh. So again, Merker is still fresh. Morandini is the batter. Is he a hero? Decided I says he is. So that's going to be a men on base result. He is neutral. So 3 stays put, and we are going to be putting him at third base. Because the Cubs do need some runs here. And Sammy Sosa is going to be the batter when we get to the men on base chart. 15. Well, guess what? Scrapper hits double. No, Sosa is not a scrapper. That is hit high, far, and out of the stadium. We are tied up at 2. Sammy Sosa hits a home run here in this debut episode of Rivalry Night. As the Cubs tied it up at 2, and after 2, we are tied at 2. 1, 2, 3. The current batter is Mabry, John Mabry. 1, 2, 3. That is Workman or Struggler. Tapani is a Workman. So that is going to be a men on base result. And Mabry is a Stoic runner. So Stoic takes away from 1. So that's going to be a no runs result of a 3 dot. So good way to keep the runners off the bases for the time being, if you're the Cubs starter, as Sosa tied up the score last half inning. Let's see what happens in this half of the third. The score is deadlocked at 2-all. 1-1-3 on Merker. Is he a struggler pitcher? No, he is not. Utility batter for Grace? No, he is not. That's going to be an RBI question mark result. Unfortunately, the decider die is a blank, so no RBIs. So monkey see, monkey do action here in the first 3 innings. So now both pitchers are now semi-fresh. And we continue on to the 4th with a 2-2 score between the Cubs and the Cardinals. We have a 4, 5, 6, and that is going to be pitcher not fresh. Well, again, he's semi-fresh. Decided I says he is. Champion batter, and it is Gady. No, he is not. So that's no runs, but a possibility of a home run check. Is the black die a 6? It sure is, because it says solo home run check. If the batter is that the black die is a 6, in this case, the white number is representing the black die. And if the batter has either a home run king or slugger qualities, he hits a solo home run. Gary Gady is going to do just that, putting the Cardinals in front with a solo shot into the bleachers in left field here at Wrigley Field. Your score is Cardinals 3, Cubs 2 after the top half of the 4th as we head to the bottom half with 1, 4, 6. So Merker, is he an ace or dynamic? No, he is not. Sad sack batter for Rodriguez. No. So it's going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die of control. He has semi control, and the decider die says he does. So Stoic is going to be 1. So that's going to be a 0. So it's going to be a 4 blank for the no runs result off of Henry Rodriguez. And through 4 innings, the Cardinals lead over the Cubs 3-2. 1-2-5 on Tapani. He's still going strong here. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, we're still in the semi-fresh innings, and he is still fresh thanks to the decider die. Champion on Lampkin. He is not. So that's going to be a no runs result of a 5 dot. So a 5 dot no runs result for Lampkin. And that is going to be it for the Cardinals here in the 5th. Your score is Cardinals 3, Cubs 2. Jeff Blauser, his turn is at bat, or excuse me, it is his turn to take a crack at things with a 1-4-4 struggler pitcher. No, Merker's not a struggler. Sad sack batter on Blauser. No, so that's going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if control. Merker is a semi-control. He does not have it, so the 4 stays put. And that is going to end up being runners on first and third. This is the Cubs' chance to take a serious lead here in this one. 44. Wild pitcher? No. That's going to be a fly out. Wow, what a way to get out of the inning. And we see the bullpens going for both teams. So probably Tapani is going to go through, if he can get through this inning unscathed, he can go one more inning. Same with Merker. But again, both bullpens are warming up. And let's get to the next half inning. After 5 innings, the Cardinals lead it 3-2 over the Chicago Cubs. 2-2-4, and this is going to read ace pitcher. Tapani is not an ace. Utility on Clayton. He is a utility batter, so that's going to be a no runs result of a 2 dot. And that's going to probably be it for Tapani as he is through 6, only giving up 3 earned. Giving up 3 earned. He is in line, unfortunately, hopefully for the loss right now. But if the Cubs come back in the next half inning, he is going to be able to get the no decision. We move to the bottom of the 6th. The Cardinals lead it 3-2 over the Chicago Cubs. 1-2-2. Struggler. Merker is not a struggler. Champion batter. Service is not a champion. Therefore, it's a no runs result of a 1 blank. And that is going to be all she wrote for our starters for this one. And we are going to take a quick timeout for a quick pitching changes. After 6 innings, the Cardinals lead the Cubs by 1 run, 3-2. And we are back as we are ready to bring in Terry Mulholland as he was warming up in the bullpen. Excuse me, as he will get the full. Let's see here. He's going to get. Probably we'll give him the ace for this at bat to Delino DeShields. We're at the 7th inning. At the top half of the 7th, the Cardinals are leading the Cubs 3-2. Here at the friendly confines, as we start the 7th inning with a 1-2-6, struggler or gilded. No, Mulholland is not struggler, and he's not gilded. Hero batter, Delino DeShields is a semi-hero. The decider die says yes, he is. That is going to be a men on base result. He is a semi-active. Is he active? He is not. So 2 will stay put as he will cruise on into second with a double. And that is going to bring up Mark McGwire for his at-bat on the men on base chart. 15, unfortunately, Scrapper, no. That is going to be a home run for Mark McGwire as he crushes one out of the ballpark. The Cardinals take a 5-2 lead over the Chicago Cubs with your score Cardinals 5, Cubs 2, with Tapani now on hook for the loss. And with that being said, Merker will take his turn to see if he can go 7 to hopefully qualify for a quality start. Everyone is all good and all stretched out. We continue on with a 1-4-6 here in game 1. Ace, no. Or dynamic, no. Sad sack on Johnson, no. So that's a men on base result, -1 for the black die of control. He does have control. It's going to be a 3, but we are going to place the runners at first and second. So now Mickey Morandini is now the batter, and we go to the men on base chart of a 35. Control pitcher, he's semi-controlled. The Decider Die says he is. That is going to be a ground out and an end of inning, and that is going to do it for the day for Kent Merker as he goes 7 innings, 2 earned. And my goodness, he is in line for the win here in game 1. But let's see what happens as we continue on to the top half of the 8th with the Cardinals up in front 5-2. Here we go with Ray Langford as the batter against Mulholland as the Cubs pitcher. The roll is a 2-2-5. Ace, no, he's not. Hero, semi-hero, Decider Die says he is. So that's going to be a men on base result. And a 2 with a semi-active. He is, and the Decider Die was used. He's not active, so it stays a 2. And he cruises into second with a double. And we are off to Ron Gant off of the men on base chart. 36. Active batter, he's not. I usually refer that to as the running, not as like the current batter. I think that's how it is now. It has been a while. So active batter, no. It's going to be a contact result. And I usually roll the red die for this. 2. Sat sack. Gant is not a sat sack, so therefore it is going to be an RBI for Ron Gant. And it is now 6-2 Cardinals. And the Cubs their chances of winning this are looking bleak here. As Merker will now be replaced. It looks like LaRussa will shake Merker's hand, and we will be back with a pitching change, a quick pitching change. Let's take a quick timeout to see what is going to go down. Timeout. And we are back, and it seems that John Frascatore will be the pitcher that comes out of the pen for the St. Louis Cardinals, as he is a both semi-flash and semi-control printed out on his card. The Cardinals lead at 6-2 over the Cubs here in this debut episode of Rivalry Night for Game 1 of this inaugural season for the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. We go to the bottom half of the 8th with a 3-4-6, and it will read pitcher not fresh. Well, again, he's fresh because he came out of the pen. Hero batter on Sosa. Yes, he is a hero batter, so that's going to be a men on base result. Neutral stays a 4, and that's going to be runners on first and third. This could be the make or break inning for the Cubs to see if they can get their pitcher off the hook here. We go to the men on base chart with a 14. Scrapper hits single. Mark Grace is not a scrapper. So that is going to be a double. So it looks like all runners will score on double. So it's a bases clearing double So with 2 runs scoring, it is now all of a sudden 6-4 Cubs with Grace on second base. And we have Henry Rodriguez at the plate off of the men on base chart. 34. Slugger hits double. Yes, he is a slugger. So that's going to bring home another run. It's 6-5 now. Jeff Blauser is up next off the men on base chart. 36 active batter. He's not. So that's a contact result. And I usually roll the red die for this. 5. Champion. No, he's not. That's going to be a pop out. But wow. So the Cubs score 3 runs in the bottom half of the 8th. They're not going quietly into the night to hopefully not have the Cardinals take game 1 from them. And with that being said, the score is still 6-5. They let their starter off the hook. But your pitchers of record for right now are Mulholland and Frascator. Or excuse me, still Kent Merker. Mulholland and Merker are still your pitchers of record so far. And let's see what goes down in the next half inning as we head to the top of the 9th. Your score, Cardinals 6, Cubs 5. 2-5-5. That is going to be struggler pitcher. Mulholland is not a struggler. Utility batter on Mayberry, no. So that is going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die of flash. Decider die, Mulholland has semi-flash. Decider die says he does. So 5 becomes a 4. And 4 is going to be runners on first and third, not what the Cubs wanted. They wanted to limit the damage. Here, as we will roll off of the men on base chart with Gary Gady up to bat. 15, that's probably going to do it. Scrapper hits a double. No, that is a home run, 3-run jack. The Cardinals lead it 9-5. My, oh my, oh my. Mulholland is still the pitcher of record for giving up that home run. But we head to the bottom of the 9th. The Cubs are down 9-5. They need to score 5 runs, 4 to tie, 5 to win game 1. Hopefully to win game 1 of this Rivalry Night series. Four, 5, 6. I think that is probably going to do it. Pitcher not fresh. Again, he is fresh because it's a bullpen arm. Hernandez, is he a champion? No. No runs. Chance for a black die of 6. He has the home run king, semi-home run king. Decider die says he does. But unfortunately, that is going to be all. 1 run came across for the Cubs. Unfortunately, the final score for game 1, the Cardinals will win it over the Chicago Cubs 9-6. Room 2 is almost about set to get underway as we are from the Old Busch Stadium in St. Louis with game 2 of this Rivalry Night series between the Cubs and the Cardinals. The Cardinals are up on top of this series 1-0 as we play out this game and game 3 coming up after the conclusion of this one and after we see the game summary. As like I always do, it's a 3-game set, and if you win, great. If you lose, whatever. So again, this is game 2 of this series. We are from Old Bush Stadium in St. Louis. Your starting pitchers for game 2 is going to be Todd Stottlemyre for St. Louis and Mark Clark for Chicago. Todd Stottlemyre is finishing up his warm-up tosses as he has a semi-star, full flash, and semi-control for his pitching unit. Mark Clark is going to have a workman quality, full flash, and full control for Chicago. With that being said, um, the Cubs were the home team last game, so again, we're giving both teams a chance to be the home team throughout Rivalry Night and World Series Rewind, which you will see coming up on Wednesday. With that being said, let's start. Let's have ourselves a good game, fellas, and let's play ball. Tyler Houston will lead things off for Chicago. And we're going to begin with a 1-1-5, and that is struggler pitcher. No, Stottlemyre is not a struggler. Utility batter, Houston is not a utility, but we do have a men on base result, -1 for the black die if flash. And again, the white die is the black die. So with that being said, Todd Stottlemyre does have flash, and it will be a no runs result of a 5 dot for the top half of the first. And the Cubs go quietly in the first as they scored none, and the Cardinals are coming to bat with Tom Lampkin to lead things off. 1-3-4. Ace pitcher, Clark is not an ace. Champion batter, Lampkin's not a champion. Therefore, it's going to be a no runs result of a 3 blank. And after one inning of play here at the Old Bush Stadium, the Cardinals and Cubs are deadlocked at a scoreless tie. Two, 5-6, and this is going to read workman pitcher. Stottlemyre is not a workman. Satsack batter on Johnson. No, he's not. So it is going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if flash, and in this case, it's front on the white 5. And indeed, he does have flash, so that 5 will be reduced to a 4, and it will be runners on first and third for Mickey Morandini as we roll off of the men on base chart. Whoops. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. 24. Gold fielder makes the out. Clayton is not a gold fielder, so that is going to be an error on Clayton. And the bases are loaded for Sammy Sosa. '26, home run king, it's home run. Well, guess what? Sammy Sosa just hit a grand slam. Unbelievable to bring the Cubs to give the Cubs a 4-0 lead, all thanks to the Clayton error in this half inning. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Something is really clicking here for the Cubs here in game 2, but we still got a lot of game left to be played. We continue on the men on base chart with a 33. Scrapper hits single. Grace is not a scrapper. So it is going to be a triple, and right away that is going to prompt a mound visit for Todd Stottlemyre as the bullpen is starting to get loose for the Cardinals here as these two teams go at it in this edition of Rivalry Night to kick us off for the inaugural season of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. And we are good. And let's see what happens here. The Cardinals are going to stick with Todd Stottlemyre. So hopefully he can get out of things. 22. Batting at home. No, the Cubs are the visitors. So it will be a flyout and good. And right away, good on the Cardinals to use their mound visit to calm Stottlemyre down after giving up the grand slam to Sammy Sosa. It is Cubs 4, Cardinals nothing as we head to the bottom half of the second inning. 1-3-4. Delino DeShields is your is your current batter after Clayton was used to check for his fielding rating. We have a 1-3-4. Ace pitcher. Clark is not an ace. Champion. DeShields is not a champion, so that's going to be a no runs result of a 3-0. And the Cubs are going to maintain their 4-0 lead as we head to the third inning with the score Cubs 4, Cardinals nothing here in game 2. 1-1-6. Blauser, oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Stottlemyre, is he a struggler pitcher? No, he's not. Utility batter on Blauser, yes. So that is going to be a no runs, but however, does he have the home run king quality? No, he does not. So it's going to be a no runs result of a 1-0 for Mark Clark, or excuse me, for Stottlemyre. I'm sorry. It was the Cubs at bat. Sorry about that. And we will move on to the bottom of the third. The Cubs still lead it 4-0 over the St. Louis Cardinals. We have a 4-4-6. Star pitcher on Clark. No. Hero batter on McGuire. Yes. That's going to be a men on base result. Stoic, so -1 for the black die. So that is going to be. We'll have it be first and second for Ray Langford off of the men on base chart. 35, control pitcher, you bet. He is going to get the ground out. Nice job by Mark Clark to keep this game at a 4-0 lead for his Cubs. We go to the fourth by that score with a 1-3-4. Ace pitcher, Stottlemyre is acting like nothing, clearly nothing to an ace. So that's no. Champion, no, Hernandez is not a champion. So therefore, it's a no runs result of a 3 blank. And that is going to be all she wrote for that half inning with the Cubs in front 4-0 over the Cardinals. 1-2-2. Struggler pitcher. Clark is not a struggler. So again, we're in the semi-fresh innings now. Again, 3 full fresh, 3 semi-fresh. That's how I'm going to play it for all of the episodes, literally. So with that being said, 1-3-1-2-2 again is struggler, no. Champion, we're on Langford, no. So that's going to be a no runs result. And my goodness, the Cubs are keeping the Cardinals at bay. We have a 2-0 for the no runs result. And after 4 innings of play, the Cubs still lead it 4-0, thanks to a Sammy Sosa grand slam in the second inning. One, 3-4. Ace pitcher on Stottlemyre. No. Champion on Houston. No. That's going to be a no runs result. So a 4-0 for Stottlemyre. And that's going to do it for the top half of the fourth. Or excuse me, top half of the fifth, excuse me. With the Cubs in front 4-0. 3-4-5. Star pitcher. Clark is not a star. Sad sack batter on Gant. No. So men on base It's gonna be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash or control. He has both. 3 minus 2 is 1. So there's gonna be a runner on first for John Mabry. The Cardinals really need to get something going here. 16, good eye. Unfortunately, he does not have a good eye, so that is going to be a strikeout. Unfortunately, that is going to keep the score right where it's at of 4-0 in favor of the Chicago Cubs. We head to the sixth, and Stottlemyre will go one more inning before leaving this game for the bullpen as we see the pens warming up for both teams. 2-2-3. We have ace. Stottlemyre is not an ace. Utility batter on Johnson, no. So that's going to be an RBI check. And yes, there will be an RBI for Johnson as he will score the 5th run of the game. The first run since the 2nd inning grand slam by Sammy Sosa for the Cubs, as the Cubs lead it through 6 innings, through 5.5 innings by the score of 5-0. We go to the bottom of the 6th with a 1-1-2. Ace, pitcher for Clark, no. Sad sack batter on Fernando Tatis. That is going to be a negative, but it's going to be an RBI check. And unfortunately, there will not be one. The shutouts, I should say, Clark is through 6 innings of scoreless ball. Here at Busch Stadium. The crowd here at Busch is getting restless. They want to see their Cardinals take on. They really want to see the Cardinals beat the Cubs here. But how can you do that without scoring a run? We will take a quick timeout while the Cardinals are making a pitching change. As it seems, Tony La Russa did shake Stottlemyre's hand as he was heading to the dugout, and let's take a quick timeout to see what the Cardinals are going to bring in for the pitching change. Timeout. We are back with the Cubs leading the Cardinals 5-0 as we head to the 7th inning. And Jeff Brantley will be the pitcher now for the Cardinals as he has a semi-workman, a full flash, and a semi-control. But for this turn, he is going to have full control for this at-bat against Mickey Morandini. 1-3-4. Ace, no. Champion, Morandini, no. So either way, that's going to be a no-runs result of a 3-dot. And we head to the stretch here at Busch. Your score, Cubs 5, Cardinals nothing. One, 2, 4 on Lampkin as everyone is all stretched out. And we are ready to go. Ace pitcher, Mark Clark says no. Champion on Lampkin, no. That's going to be a no-runs result of a 4 blank. My, oh my, oh my. This is interesting, folks. We head to the 8th. The score, Cubs 5, Cardinals nothing. 1-5-6. And it looks like ace on Brantley, no. Sad sack on Sosa, absolutely not. So that's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Yes, he does. So the 5 becomes a 4. So that is going to become a 1st and 3rd situation, and not what you want with Grace coming to bat for the Cubs. 34. Slugger hits double. Grace is a semi-slugger. Decider Die says he is. So that is going to be a double so 2 bases on double. So that is going to be, so the runner on third is going to score. So that's 6-0 now. Runner on first will go to third. So it's 2nd and 3rd for the Cubs. And that is going to bring up Brant Brown for the Cubs off the men on base chart. 56. Patient batter draws the walk. Brown is not patient, so therefore it's going to be a contact result. And usually I roll the red die for this. 3, stat sack or utility. Brown is neither. So that's going to be an RBI for Brown, and the Cubs lead it 7-0. And folks are starting to head for the exits as the Cubs look to hang on by a 7-0 lead. As we have Clark coming up to come out of that dugout to make his trip to the mound for the 8th inning. Triple twos. So this is going to be ballpark check. Okay, so ballpark check. Let me just pull out that. We are at St. Louis, and it is a. Have it in here somewhere. I think I have it here somewhere. But for future episodes, I'll have the ballpark card at the top right corner of the screen. So give me 1 second while I look up the numbers. Time out. And we're back, and I looked up the ballpark qualities here. So Bush Memorial Stadium is a turf field with a semi-big and semi-big for both lefties and righties. So with that being said, triple twos, we got a ballpark micro check, and usually I will roll the blue die for this. We have a 6. Grass turf? Well, unfortunately, no. Bush Memorial Stadium is not a grass turf, so that's going to be a men on base result, so we're going to re-roll the white die. It's a 2, so it's going to be runner on second for... Yes, runner on second as we head to the men on base chart for the... batter of Delino DeShields. 14 is going to read, Scrapper hits single. No, he's not a scrapper, so that's going to be a double, RBI double, and there goes the shutout for the Cardinals, or excuse me, for the Cubs, I should say, but they still lead it 7-1. We stay put on the men on base chart with Mark McGuire, and he is getting a 16. Good eye. Unfortunately, he does not have a good eye, so therefore that's a strikeout. And that is going to do it for the Cubs. I'm sorry for the Cardinals in this half inning. And again, next for starting in World Series Rewind, I will have the ballpark card labeled on the top right corner of the screen for every time, so that way I don't have to go through what I did through again. It just really came up. So with that being said, we head to the 9th with Game 2 on the line. The Cubs lead it 7-1 over the Cardinals. 2-3-5, and that is going to be on Blauser. Star pitcher, Brantley's not a star. Stat sack batter, Blauser's not a stat sack. So let me just make sure. 2-3-5. Yep. Men on base, -1 for the black die. If flash, he does. The black die is a 3, so in this case, white die on screen, but just pretend it's black. So just in case for you guys to purposely see. Since he has flash, the 3 becomes a 2, so it's going to be a double. Runner on second for Jose Hernandez. 25. Iron fielder commits the error. Langford is not an iron fielder, so that's going to be a ground out, and he will not be the active batter, but instead Gant will, as the score is still 7-1. Clark is going to come back out to finish and go for the complete game right now as we head to the bottom half of the 9th inning. 5-5-6. Star pitcher, no. Hero batter, Gant is not a hero batter. So 5-5-6. That's going to be a no runs. Unfortunately, if the black die is a 6, which is not. If the batter has the home run king quality, unfortunately, he will get a home run, and that is going to be all she wrote, folks. The final score here for game 2 of this Rivalry Night series. The Cubs tie it up the series with a dramatic and emphatic 7-2 victory over the St. Louis Cardinals. Teams deadlocked at a game apiece. The winner of this game will win the first episode of Rivalry Nights for the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. Your starting pitchers for this one is going to be Kerry Wood for Chicago and Matt Morris for the Cardinals. And again, excuse me. And again, notifying who is the current batter are these little tokens here. Blue is for Chicago, and the red is, of course, for St. Louis. And you can see Mabry is the leadoff batter for the Cardinals. Let's get game 3 underway for this first ever winner take all matchup. Four-5-5. We're going to begin this game with a 4-5-5. And it looks like, is Kerry Wood a workman? No. Is Mabry a utility batter? No. So it's going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die. If flash or control, Kerry Wood has double flash. 5 becomes a 3. That is going to probably put the runners on first and second to begin this one. As we go to the men on base chart for Gary Gady. 33. Scrapper hits single. No, he's not. That's going to be a triple, bases clearing triple, and the Cardinals are in front, 2-0, just like that. That's the beauty of how we play the game, folks. We stay put in this on the men on base chart with a 15. Scrapper. No, Lincoln's not a scrapper, so that's going to be a home run. So a 2-run home run will do such that the Cardinals jump out to a 4-0 lead so far in this one. And after a half of inning of play, the Cardinals lead at 4-0, and the Cubs are coming to bat in the bottom half of the first. 1-2-5. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, we're in the first, and again, I'm playing this as 3 full fresh, 3 semi-fresh. Everybody is neutral, so no BS. Looking at game day and stuff and all that. So we're just playing it as normal. So neutral rules: 3 full fresh, 3 semi-fresh, and we have a 1-2-5. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, Morris is fresh. Champion. Service is not a champion, so that's going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank. And that is going to be all she wrote for that one. And let's take a look see here. 5 blank before I forget. And I believe that is, whatever the stats are going to tell. And we will move on to the second inning here at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field with your score 4-0 in favor of the St. Louis Cardinals. 1-4-6. Ace or dynamic pitcher. Kerry Wood's not an ace. Sad sack batter on Clayton. No, he is not. So that is going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if Kerry Wood has control. He does not. So that is going to That is going to keep the runner at holding the runner to a single for Delino DeShields, now up at the plate. And it will be off of the men on base chart. Oh my gosh, a 15. Scrapper hits double. DeShields is not a scrapper. That is a 2-run jack. And all of a sudden, the Cubs plan to bring out the firepower with Kerry Wood matching ace for ace is not boding too well as the Cardinals lead it 6-0 here after 1.5 innings of play. We head to the bottom half of the second. Your score is Cardinals 6, Cubs nothing. Uh, 336. Sorry about that. 336. Workman pitcher. Morris is not a workman. Sat sack batter. Johnson is not a sat sack. Therefore, it's going to be an RBI chance, and there will not be an RBI because it's the Saturday blank. So in the end, it will be a no. It'll probably be a no-run inning of 3 blank, and that is going to take us to the third inning with the Cardinals up in front, 6-0, and we do see the bullpen going for the Chicago Cubs. And we'll give Kerry Wood another chance to get out of the inning if he lets home another run. He is struggling right now, so officially he is a struggler. So we move to the third inning with the score 6-0 in favor of the Cardinals. 3-4-5, and that is star pitcher, semi-star. DeSaturday says he is, so that is going to be a no-runs result of a 5 blank. So a 5 blank for the no-runs result. That is huge to keep McGuire down. And we head to the bottom of the third. The score is still 6-0 in favor of the Cardinals. 555. So this is going to be an experience check. So let me pull out that chart here. And for this, I'm just going to roll the white die. 1. Do we have an icon pitcher? Morris is not an icon. So therefore, it's going to be a men on base result. And we're going to re-roll this die to see where we go. 3. And we are definitely going to put the runners on first and second for Sammy Sosa. 13, and it looks like that is going to be a fresh relief pitcher. Well, again, we're still in the fresh innings, so he is going to get a pop-out. And they will leave 2 men on base, and after 3 innings of play, the score is Cardinals 6, Cubs nothing. And we are going to take a quick timeout as the manager for the Cubs has decided to go to the pen to be extra safe, to really play it safe here. So we'll take a quick timeout while the Cubs make a quick pitching change. Timeout. And just like that, we are back as the Cubs decided to bring in their closer, Rod Beck, even though the situation is not within a save situation. Rod Beck is there just to eat up some innings, and they are just going to do that until the game is within reach. So Beck is not getting a save situation here for this game. And let's move on to the 4th inning here at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field with the score Cardinals 6, Cubs nothing. 4-4-5. Excuse me. We have workman pitcher. No, Rodback is not a workman, and I forgot to mention, he was warming up during the third. He was warming up while the Cardinals were blastering runs all over the place. So we're going to give him the ace quality here for this at bat. I forgot to mention that. 4-4-5. Workman, no. Hero batter on Langford. Semi-hero. DeSaturday says no. So that's going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank. 5 blank for the no runs result. That is going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank for the no runs result. That is going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank. 5 blank for the no runs result. That is going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank. 5 blank for the no runs result. That is going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank. 5 blank for the no runs result. That is going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank. 5 blank for the no runs result. That is going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank. 5 blank for the no runs result. That is going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank. 5 blank for the no runs result. That is going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank. 5 blank for the no runs result. That is going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank. 5 blank for the no runs result. That is going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank. 5 blank for the no runs result. That is going to be a no ru 5 blank, and that is going to be huge going forward here for as the Cubs manager told his catcher to go tell Beck to keep St. Louis at bay while we try to get back into this game. And with that, we go to the bottom of the fourth. Your score: Cardinals 6, Cubs nothing. 116. Struggler pitcher. Morris is not a struggler. Utility batter on Grace. No. That's going to be an RBI check, and there goes the shutout. So the Cubs get one on the board, courtesy of Mark Grace off at an RBI. And it's now it's Cardinals 6, Cubs 1. And we head to the top half of the fifth by that score. One, 3, 5, and it's going to read ace pitcher for Beck. No. Champion batter on Gant. No. So that is going to be a no runs result, and that is going to end up being a 3 dots, and that is going to be all she wrote for this half inning, and we will move on to the next half inning with the score 6-1 in favor of the St. Louis Cardinals. 116. And we have Struggler on Morris. No. Utility on Rodriguez. Semi-utility. The side die says yes. So that is going to be 116. No runs plus a possibility for a solo home run. In this case, no, but he does have the semi-home run king. The side die, he has a semi-home run king. The side die says he does. So he's going to hit a home run here to make it 6-2 Cardinals. And all of a sudden, the Cardinals are looking at their plan of action to see how long they're going to stick with Morris. They're probably saying to each other, they're probably going to go one more inning. And with that being said, we go to the sixth. The score: Cardinals 6, Cubs 2. 246. Star pitcher, you bet. Back as a star, so that's a no-run inning. 6 blank will be your no runs result narrative, and that is going to be all she wrote for that happen. Oh, sorry, wrong token. And that's going to be all she wrote for that half inning, and your score is still 6-2 as we head to the next half inning. Cardinals up on top. 126. Struggler or Gilded on Morris? No. Hero batter on Blauser? No. So that is going to be a no runs check, but there's a chance for a solo home run. And unfortunately for Blauser, he does not have the home run king quality. So that is going to be that. We head to the seventh inning. The Cardinals up on top, 6-2. 113. Struggler pitcher for Beck? No. Utility batter on Gady? No. So that's going to be an RBI check, and blank says no, so no run inning. It'll be a 3 dot, and that is going to be all she wrote. And we head to the stretch here at Wrigley with your score: Cardinals 6, Cubs 2. 124. Ace pitcher, Matt Morris is a semi-ace. Decided I says no. Champion for Hernandez, no. So that's no run. So one dot for Morris, and he is cruising now, and that is probably going to be all she wrote for Matt Morris. And when we get to the next, and we do see the bullpens going for the Cardinals, LaRussa shakes Morris's hand as he walks back to the dugout. And with that, we move to the top half of the eighth. The Cardinals still in front, 6-2. 1-2-5. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, he's the bullpen arm, so he is fresh. Champion batter on Lemkin, no. So 1-2-5. No runs. 5. Let me just make sure here. He's fresh. Champion batter on Lampkin, no. So yeah, no runs. 5 dot is going to be your no runs narrative. And that is going to be it for the top half of the eighth. And your score is still 6-2 Cardinals. With that being said, LaRussa will go to his bullpen. And while a new pitcher gets his warm-up tosses in, we are going to take a quick timeout. And we are back as Juan Acevedo is going to be the new pitcher, and he is going to get the full ace quality for his for pitching to Scott Service, the active batter for the Chicago Cubs. 4-5-5, and it reads: workman pitcher, no, Acevedo is not a workman. Utility batter on Service, he is, so that's going to be a no runs result of a 5. Yes, of a 5 blank. And that is going to do it for the 8th. And your score after 8 innings of play is Cardinals 6, Cubs 2. We head to the 9th with a 1-2-3. Workman or struggler? Beck is neither. Champion on Clayton? No. So that's going to be a no runs check. A no runs result, I should say, of a 3 blank. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. The Cubs need a rally here. They're down by 4. 6-2 is your score. Two 6-6. Star pitcher, no. Champion batter on Johnson, no. No runs, chance for a solo home run, unfortunately, no. The Cardinals are going to win the debut episode of Rivalry Night by the final score, to win game 3 by the final score of 6-2. And man, oh man, the Cubs really gave it a good fight at the end. But again, it was all for naught. Man, they were so close. But again, the Cardinals, with starting off strong with 4 runs in the first, really sealed the deal for them to win the debut episode of Rivalry Night. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Rivalry Night as part of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. Stay tuned for the game summary, plus the episode summary, brought to you by your favorite Bitty Beer products. And again, we remind you, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. As always, it has big taste at a bitty price. It's Bitty Beer. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode of Rivalry Night featuring the 1998 St. Louis Cardinals and the 1998 Chicago Cubs. But never fear, we will be back with you next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. when we will feature the debut episode of World Series Rewind, as we will rewind back to the 1991 World Series featuring the Minnesota Twins and the Atlanta Braves. Who will come out on top of this matchup? Well, stay tuned to find out next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour, played with History Maker Baseball Express. We look forward to bringing you more episodes of Rivalry Night, World Series Rewind, Cross Era Showdown, and memorable games throughout the 2026 Major League Baseball regular season.